Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jade and today I am doing a giant book haul for you guys. So, it started like this. I went to Chicago. I went to a bookstore that I've never heard of before but was really nice, reminding me of Barnes & Nobles. And I went to Target and I ended up getting a book. It's a great book. Love it. And then I came home from Chicago. And I went on Book Outlet and I spent $40 and I got 14 books. And so that book I got at Target and these 14 books are what I have to show you today. And I'm not upset about it because I spent, what, $50 in total and I have 15 books. Kind of unheard of. So let's just get into it. Alright, the first book I have for you guys is a book I've read before, and that is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I really loved this book, and I've been wanting to pick it up for a while just to own it. And I went to Target, and I saw this book. I was like, that looks beautiful. I was like, oh my god, green edges. And I bought it, and then I open it, and there is this beautiful art done of the two of them in this book. And it has a new introduction by Rainbow Rowell, and I just really am proud of that. It's beautiful, and I think I want to reread it this summer, but it's just so nice looking, and like the way it looks because of the green edges, I just can't get over. And this is my Book Outlet haul. So the most I spent on a single book was $4.39, and it's because I got my favorite book of all time in hardcover, and that is Furthermore by Tahereh Mafi. Look at this beauty. I own this beauty. That is all that matters to me. I wish I should probably explain what some of these are about, but this book haul is more to show you how beautiful these books are. I've talked about Furthermore so much, but it's a middle grade novel that takes place in a world full of really beautiful, whimsical magic, and it's about a girl named Alice, and she wants to go on a quest to find her father because her father disappeared some years ago, and she ends up getting involved in this mad story in a world called Furthermore, going through very dangerous villages that all are after her to find her father, and it's just a really good time, and the fact that I have that book makes me want to cry, and I want to like display it. I'm not sure how I will yet, but I'm going to. Next I got The Stars Never Rise by Rachel Vincent. This just sounded really interesting to me. So this book is about a girl named Nina, and she's fighting to try and survive because her town's population has been decimated by soul-consuming demons, and souls are in short supply. So she's trying to look out for her sister, Millie, and, like, survive. But then she finds out that Millie is keeping a secret that threatens their very existence, and she'll do anything to protect her. So that's really cool, and it seems like there's, like, a really brutal church influence in this book because of the demons and things, and it talks about a brutal church system, but it just looked really interesting to me, and I'm actually really interested in it, so I can't wait to pick that up. The next book I have is The Love That Split the World by Emily Henry, which is very beautiful, and it was very cheap, so I got it. This is about a girl who's spending her last summer in a small Kentucky hometown, but then she starts seeing the wrong things. They're just momentary glimpses at first, like the front door is red instead of its usual green. There's a preschool where the garden store should be, but then her whole town disappears for hours, fading away into rolling hills and grazing buffalo, and Nat knows something isn't right. Then there are the visits from the kind and mysterious apparition she calls grandmother, who tells her you have 3 months to save him. The next night, under the stadium lights of the high school football field, she meets a beautiful boy named Bayou, and it's as if time just stops and nothing exists. Nothing except Natalie and Bayou. That just sounds like a real good contemporary to me. I've been seeing this book around just for so long, and I really was excited to get it and pick it up, especially because the beautiful cover just really intrigued me to the story. I think for contemporary books, a beautiful cover is just very helpful. Alright, next book I have is a book I've wanted to read for a very long time, and that is Nemesis by Brandon Reichs. I've almost bought this more times than I can count, but haven't. And I finally did. And it's about a girl who every year on her birthday gets murdered. And wakes up like nothing happens. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's happening here. Yeah, ever since she was 8, on her birthday, a man finds her and murders her. And every time she wakes up in a clearing, alone, unhurt, and all evidence of the crime erased. And it's also about a boy named Noah who's haunted by nightmares of murder and death. But the world around him starts to spiral towards panic and destruction. He learns that everything he's been told is a lie. But there's a bigger problem for the planet. An enormous asteroid is threatening life on Earth. So these two troubled teens are probably going to have to combine to save the world and things like that. Alright, so this is Paper and Fire. It's part of the Great Library series by Rachel Kane. And I'm just really excited to read this book because it's about people who are trying to protect a library. I don't know. Synopsis, really unclear on the back. But I've heard a lot about it, and I kind of want to look more into what it's about because the back does not give me really an understanding. But that might be the point. But basically, it's a world where knowledge is power, and power corrupts absolutely. So this is the story of those who dare defy the Great Library and rewrite history. I'm wondering if it's like not the first book because of the confusing background story, but it seems like it is. I'm going to have to do some research into there, but it looks pretty cool. The next book I have for you guys is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. Definitely have heard a lot about this book on BookTube, and I thought I'd pick it up. This is about, it's in a different world where there's heroes and villains, and it kind of explores the idea of like heroes and villains sort of, because there's two different sides of like a faction that believe different things. There's the Renegades, which are humans with extraordinary abilities, and they establish peace and order in like a society that was broken, but people are also against the Renegades, and they're the villains that the Renegades overthrew. And there's a girl who hates the Renegades, and she's on a mission for vengeance. So, it sounds really cool. I wonder, I know it'll play with the whole idea of villains, because it's about, like, the people who got overthrown by the heroes, but they might not have been bad after all, they just didn't know how to save the world or something like that. I don't know, I have heard some mixed reviews on it, but it was super cheap, and I've been interested in it, so I was like, why not get it? The next book I have is a book that is just my kind of book. Like, this book just encompasses my favorite type of novel. Let me know if, like, you feel the same way. But it's A School for Unusual Girls by Kathleen Baldwin. And it's about a, like, boarding school where girls are sent to learn how to be spies. It's only 5 people at the school, though. It's after Napoleon. It's 1814, and Napoleon is exiled. So, like, there's just war coming, and there's a special school for girls to be sent to be trained in the art of spying in war, which sounds really cool. So the main character, Georgiana, is sent to the school after accidentally setting her father's stables on fire, but she has no intention of being turned into a manageable miss. She plans on escaping as soon as possible until she meets Lord Sebastian Wyatt. Thrust into a desperate mission to invent a great invisible ink for the English war effort, they must find a way to work together. So it sounds like actually there might be a lot of historical stuff in here. I thought it was just like a cool, fun school movie, but it might be more historical fiction than I thought. So I'm actually not sure how I feel about that, but we'll have to see. Next is another one of my favorite type of books, and this is The Inventor's Secret by Adrena Kramer. I really like steampunk spy novels. They just speak to me. But this is in a world where Britannia rules the colonies with an iron fist, and revolutionaries are hanged for treason. A group of rebels risk everything to fight against a future that could kill them all. That's all you really get, but it sounds really, really cool. It's like kind of an alternate history book too. It's like the American colonies don't get their independence, and it's, I think, probably a lot later, since there's a Ferris wheel behind, which was created at the Chicago World Fair. So we definitely weren't ruled by Britain then, so that could be kind of cool. The next book is The Beast is an Animal by Pardonal Arsdale. So this book is about a girl who has an ability to see soul eaters, which you don't really know what those are, but she can also sense the soul eaters and the beasts in the woods, and she lives in a world where everyone's terrified of them, and she's one of the only people that can see them. And it seems like it's kind of a retelling, possibly of Beauty and the Beast, but I'm not completely sure. But I know why I got this bargain copy. They messed up while publishing it, and on the back it says Forest with 2 F's, and that's why I only spent $2, and I thank that publishing company for their mess up, because I've been wanting that book. It just, the cover really entranced me. The next book I have is Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. This is the second book in the duology of this Savage Song, and it is about this world that where violence creates monsters, and there's 3 types of monsters, and they're very different, but I don't want to give too much away, but it takes place, like the 2 characters, it takes place from the point of view of a monster, and from the point of view of the daughter of the guy who is paying monsters to be on their side and manipulating them. And there's another side of the war effort that's trying to, like, destroy them and, like, get everything back to normal. So it's just a really interesting idea, and I'm excited to finally wrap it up. I think it's definitely time for me to continue with the next book in that series. The next one I have is There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. I'm always in the mood for a good thriller every so often, so I thought it'd be nice to pick another one up, and this was actually in my, like, read next list of my audiobooks, so I decided to just get it when I saw it for only $1.29, and I'll read it instead. But it's about the students of her small town high school start to die one by one in a series of gruesome murders, each with increasing grotesque flair. So it's basically they're just trying to hunt a killer before they kill everyone. Sounds pretty interesting. It sounds like Scream, sort of, is kind of the idea I'm getting, so I'm guessing it's like a book format of Scream, but we'll have to see how it is. And then I have 7 Black Diamonds by Marissa Marr, which is really interesting looking novel. I believe this book's about fairies. So this book is about a girl who is the daughter of a mob boss, but that's not what puts her life in danger the most. What's the most danger to her is that she is half fae, and they have a lot of abilities and are very feared by people and, like, hunted down. So that just sounds like an all-around interesting time. There was a war raging between the fae and the humans that ended before she was born, and there's a lot of people that are still angry and want revenge on both sides. But it just sounds like a really interesting novel, I have to say. Alright, now we have The Dark Days Pact by Alison Goodman, which is, I believe, the second book to the Dark Days Club. Yes, it is. I just finished the Dark Days Club last month, maybe, and I really, really enjoyed it. It takes place in, like, Victorian society, except there's these monsters that take people's souls that the main character suddenly is starting to be able to see, and she's terrified, and then she gets taken in under someone's arm to learn how to hunt these monsters, because it turns out that her mother and father, who died many years ago, were also demon hunters. So it just sounds like, well, it is a really good book, because I've read the first ones, but I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to, like, continue with it. And then my last book, I believe, yes, my last book is The Edge of Everything by Jeff, his name is covered up by the sticker, let's see, it's by Jeff Giles. So I just remember seeing a lot of buzz about this when it first came out, because it got, like, sponsored by booktubers, but then I never read it, so I don't really know what it's about, and no one really ever read it, but it says One More Soul on the side here, which is kind of a cool, fun thing to do. And it's about a girl named Zoe who's still reeling from her father's death, and her neighbor's mysterious disappearance from their home. So she is out on a night where there's a blizzard, and she and her brother are brutally attacked in the woods, only to be rescued by a mysterious bounty hunter they call X. So it sounds like she gets involved in a whole world she didn't even know about with this bounty hunter. So it sounds like it could be really interesting. I don't know why I haven't seen anyone read this, but it's blurbed by James Dasher, which is really cool because I really did enjoy The Maze Runner. So I don't know. It's also another one where like the cover intrigued me. I tried to combine cover and intrigue in the same word. Didn't work well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave me a like down below. Tell me if any of these books interest you at all. If you want to read any, or some books that you've bought that you're super excited to read. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, leave me a like down below, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.